Oh, I think I should be audible now. Oh, sorry for confusion. I was on mute and I was just speaking. Perfect. Thanks, Akshay. So let me just quickly tell you that what I'm going to cover. So today we are going to block exe file type in FortiGate Firewall. So I'm just explaining that the network scenario, that what it is. Okay. So this is basically like internal or trusted zone I have taken. And whenever we talk about our internet or the public environment, that could be treated as an untrust zone. Okay, because this is like public and this is not in my control. All right. So in order to segregate both of them and to secure our network, we implement the firewall in between. So I will just take a green color so that it can correlate to our FortiGate firewall. Okay. So in between, we take it as a FortiGate firewall. Like we can take any firewall, but I'm just taking for the FortiGate. So this could be a FortiGate firewall in between. All right. And if I connect them here, so this could be your internal trusted network. There could be like some router or switch in between. And here it will be connected to your firewall. And that's how here it could be like after the firewall also sometimes we take a BGP router or switch. It just depends how your internet connectivity is there. And that is going outside or the public zone. So users here or on internal zone, they keep on like accessing the internet resources, any website they are accessing it. And based on that, they just download it here, right? So a lot of traffic here and there is going there. So all the restrictions we just put on the firewall. Normally we just take specific IP, that's what allow or specific port, that's what we allow. So our firewall is having an implicit deny rule. All the traffic by default is not allowed to go there. Implicit deny. Nobody is allowed until and unless you set up a firewall policy to pass through your firewall. That's how it is happening. So today's we are going to let's suppose there's a user here on the internal zone and he's trying to access any website and tries to download any exe file. So you know that exe file is executable file, and using that one you can install anything, right? So like that exe file, there are some other file types as well which are executable or they can be harmful to your environment. It could be like you download any malicious file or something like so that just not only impacts any user who is downloading that one, but such today's malicious code or viruses are such powerful that they just impact your whole network or whole organization, right? Because they replicate themselves. There are a lot of mechanism behind them. So it's just happening. So we just to be sure, what I do being a security administrator, I block these type of files. Let's suppose executable files we block. So we set up a firewall policy in our firewall so that we can block it exe file or some of the dangerous file are blocked like bat file dot bat. Some of them are like bin. They are basically like binary file. So binary file is also type of our executable file. They are also like executable. And there are some other file type as well, or you just feel it that even you want to block the PDF file, that also you can block it using configuration on the policy on the FortiGate firewall. All right. So let's jump to our lab part and let's see how to do that. I have like a VMware setup installed on my machine. I'm starting my VMware right now, and then I will be using my EVNG. Okay, so this is my page here for the EVNG. So just give a few seconds to start it or not. So I will do like this and log in my power. So this is like very complex network, you see it, but I'm not going to like use all of them to here, but just to tell you that what this is, how the topology works here. Okay, so that you can understand that what I'm going to do here. I'll be using this machine here where I will be accessing or trying to access the exe file, or in fact, I will try to access the internet. So this is connected to switch here. We have one more switch, okay? And then it will hit to our FortiGate firewall. And from this, it will be going to internet. That could be your untrust zone. So your untrust starts from here, okay? Plus above one is untrust. And this one, like you can say as an trust or your internal network here, okay? Meanwhile, like if you have any of the question in between, you can just write on the chat. I'll be really happy to clear them out. So that's what we are going to do. So I will start them because it takes time to start them, and most of the time take the Windows machine here. So I'll start that one. Then Windows started. Okay, this is colored. I will start this switch. I will just start the devices which are in the path. Okay, not the other ones. I think I need to start this as well. So I'll do that. And then I will just wait for a while because if I start all of them together, just like resources utilization goes very high, my RAM and SID processor. So I'll just hold on for a few seconds, let them start, and then I'll start my 48 firewall as well. So my 40, okay, I think I have not logged in with the right method. Actually, I did via native console, and sometimes it is a problem with the native console. So I'll just log in with the HTML5 console. So this is it now. My FortiGate should be up. Yes, it is. And my Windows machine should be also up this time. Yes, it is. Now it's time to log in my Windows, sorry, GUI of the firewall. We are here. If we focus on the firewall policies, what we configured in the previous session, or in fact, if we missed the previous session, that does not matter. Just let's have a look on the policy that what is it is currently. Okay. So currently we have this one policy. This is having allow all. It means that internet access is provided to all the users. So there's like one more user ID profile is added. So I will remove that to make it simplify for you. Means that all the users from here on your organization. Let's suppose all the users in your organization and towards all destination. And that's we usually do because internet is unrestricted. We cannot put the destination here and all the services are allowed. So usually for the internet access, we allow port S80 and 443, but just for the sake of convenience, I have put them all. Okay. And NAT is enabled and I'm using use outgoing interface address to go to the internet. This is a setting what we did on the previous week, like previous live classes. So that we configured the NAT and we went to internet. Today's focus will be about that how to block files, right? So if you want to block the files, then what we are going to do, we are going to use this feature, file filter, right? Because we want to block the files. So this is going to be helpful, that file filter in FortiGate file. Okay. So once we go to file filter, it means that you see that these are the type of security profiles. So if you want to block any of the file type, you need to go to security profile and need to create a security profile that what you want to block or you want to block. So just quickly, let me give you a brief that what happens that when we enable it. If I enable it, then it gives you options that what are the available here. So there's like a default profile, but I will just cancel this one and go to create a security profile. So in the left side, you have multiple options, right? This is like security profiles. And here, my focus is to file filter. I went to file filter. There's a default profile. You can view it that what it is inside. But rather than this, my focus will be to create a profile to block the files. Okay. And I will create a new profile. And I'm creating a profile to block exe. So the name should be something like block exe because today's focus will be only to block exe. Okay. And this time rule I'm going to create as a proxy based because that's how it just comes to know that what file type is traveling through my firewall. And rules, in the rules, I go to create, and in that rule, same thing I will do. I will do as a block exe. If you want to give any other name, you can give it. That's not a problem. Whenever we do that one, it has all these options that which like exe file type, it will find out in these type of protocols. If the file type is FTP, then also it will catch that exe that it is passing through. If it is passing through IMAP, this is basically like mail protocol. POP3 is also mail protocol. SMTP is also mail protocol. So if through any of these ones, your traffic is exe file is passing through, my firewall will identify it and will block it. So, but the file type we can define here that which file type you want to block it. It's not only that exe file you can block multiple file types. So if you see here on the file types, if I click, there's like large number of file types. Whatever the file types are available, they are available here. Okay. So if my focus is to block exe, I just filter it exe here and add. Now exe file is added. One of the other dangerous file type is bin, basically like binary file. That's bin hex. Okay. So these are the hex code, and all the hackers use hex code to insert on your machine. Just never open any file which is having hex codes. Hex code means, let me just show you the sample. Hex code always starts with like this: X0D, X1E, X2E, hex code, X11. If any of the notepad file is like this one, this is something like they are uh, playing with your machine. They are very dangerous. and we should, like, all the organizations usually block them. They do not allow to pass through your firewall. Okay, so that's why we block that hex file type as well. And there's two types of actions. Either you can monitor it or block it. But today's my intention is to block it. So I am blocking both the file types, binhex and exe, and just create. Okay. So my rule is created, block exe and proxy list. Click OK. So this is, I just created a profile in file filter that how to block exe, not how to. In fact, I'm defining that I want to block exe. Okay. Now let's see that currently what is happening. That am I able to access the internet on my machine or not? Okay, so mm, no. Oh, there's one more setting on my firewall. Let me move that one because that will unnecessarily interfere in our lab. I just put the security mode as disabled. Okay, because it will like unnecessarily create a security. So now my machine should be having access to internet. If you have any question in between, just feel free to write in chat. We'll help you with that. Verify. So it is saying an authentication required. So no worry, I will do that one. That's not disabled it, but I think it is still working. So now internet is working on my machine, right? There's no restriction. And let me, right now, I have not implemented any block profile. I have just created it, but it is not attached on the security policy. This is just created, but on the standby. Here on the firewall policy, it is still everything is allowed. There is no security profile attached here. Okay. So let's right now just check it that whether I'm able to download any exe file or not. So I will download VLC player. That's like one of the popular media player for you, right? You guys might know. If you don't know, you will know today. So if I try to download the VLC player, it will start downloading. Started, not started. Yeah. So you see that it is started downloading. So I'm not interested this downloading, or let us just download this just 40 MB. It is downloading like no restrictions, and it will download as well. What I'm going to do now, I want to create a policy which will block that one. Okay, that internet access is still there. I should have removed that one. Because of that, it is creating that authentication. And next thing is like I will make that policy as a proxy based because the security profile we have created that was proxy based. If you don't know, just ignore that part. And now my focus will be to do file filter. We have already created a security profile to block exe. And now I will attach that profile here on the security policy that please any traffic passing through this policy, then please block exe on that. So here in this profile, we have two files blocked, exe file as well as the binhex file. So both will be blocked. And now I click OK. All right. And if I try to access now, I think this could fail as well because we have just implemented in between. It was not completed and we just uh, enabled the security profile. You see, now it is has given the network error. Even if I like refresh it, it will be this page will not open now. You see that it is giving the error that you cannot reach that page. While other internet pages you can access, if you search here, download VLC media player, it will open this one. You can open this website as well. Okay, because it is containing that exe, so that's why it is not giving permission to do that one. Okay, so I go with that. Okay, yeah, so that's how it is, because this is like an HTML page and it does not contain, it will open that page. But if you try to download this file, it will give you error that this is not allowed. You cannot download that exe file because that's restricted on your firewall, right? So you can check that as well on your logs. So you see that this test one user, basically like IP address, let's ignore that test one part. This 10.1.1.10, it was trying to visit test one and it was blocked because of UTM. So UTM is basically like unified threat monitoring, which takes care of this file blocking and web filtering and all. If I click here with the more details, you can see what was happening. So with the security, this action was blocked, and because of that, you are not able to open the exe file. All right. Any question in this? If no more questions, I'll stop here. If you have any questions related to like previous topics, whatever we covered till now, you can write on the chat. I will explain you. So let me write it as well, like questions. Awesome. So I will just suggest you to uh, do or set up the lab by yourself and do practice, because just listening does not help much. So you can just try to set up your EVNG lab in your machine and try to practice this one. These are the just very basic things. But if you do, you can just answer these questions in the interviews, because this is like really going to helpful. And even if you are working in an environment where you have less access to the FortiGate firewall, you can check these things. But whenever you are working in the production environment or in fact your organization, you cannot do a lot of things. You cannot make any changes unnecessarily. It may create an outage, right? You cannot play with that thing. So if you set up a lab on your machine, you can just play with it, create the policy, and check it out that how the traffic is allowed or denied and what is happening. If no more questions, I will stop here and let's meet next week, same time, 8 p.m. I will be coming with the new topic. Oh, what is this? That isn't that a new year, right? 50 Saturday, 30th. Yeah, 30th we can take decisions. It's not a problem. And who are new here, they don't know my website. There's my website here on this freshdeveloper.online. And here you can go to this self-learning and you can explore some CCNA videos or the FortiGate firewall at Checkpoint or Palo Alto. Okay, so you can try those as well. All right, if no more questions, I'll be stopping here. Till that, bye bye. See you next week.